I said, I'm sorry, Dave.
No,
and I'm also sorry that he dragged me into it.
See?
Because
he's
we're a team.
guy.
He's trying to tear up the big three.
Butt guy.
He's trying to tear up the big three. He's been doing it since day one.
Okay, welcome back. Pick'em Week 13. We are brought to you by our friends at Cross Country Mortgage. There's a lot of talk every week on who to bet on, but it's time you start betting on yourself. How do you do that? Get Cross Country Mortgage to help you get into home ownership game. That's a guaranteed win. They have a team of loan officers dedicated to getting you the best possible loan terms available. They have an average close time of 21 days, which is crazy fast, and they have everything at your fingertips so that you can make sure you either are owning a new home or if you own a home, refinance. Rates are really low right now. Cross Country Mortgage can help you out. They have a huge variety of products that cover everything from renovations to refis and everything in between. Go to crosscountrymortgage.com/barstool. Cross Country Mortgage can take care of you through the home buying process. Cross Country Mortgage LLC, NMLS 3029. All loans subject to underwriting approval. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. If you are a rider and you don't use Cross Country Mortgage, you are officially a skell. Okay. Week 13. What? Can you turn your ringer off? No, I don't. I never have my ringer on.
My ringer was on. I didn't know it was that big of a deal. I didn't know this is fucking, a Scorsese film at this point.
I didn't say a word.
So please don't touch the microphone.
Got it.
Okay, week 13. We're back. What? I'm helping you, Hank.
Rattled. You got us all rattled.
Who does?
Just start the show. We'll cut all that.
All right, week 13. Everyone's ringer off?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. What's up, boys? How we doing? Rivalry week. Last week of the regular season. It's sad that it's gone so fast.
Really
I can't believe it. We started this year with a negotiation. We've ended it with Rico being full-time and being just around all the time, which I love. I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just around. It's just every day I come in here and Rico's face.
He helped force me into Feast Week retirement, so thank you for that, Rico.
Yeah, I am also part of the blame there.
You guys, I'm not gambling this week, so again, thanks.
Dave loves Feast Week.
It was unfortunate that I got I got dragged into that. I accounted the blames. I put myself at 1%.
That's right.
It's factual. And the fact that you have not gone nuclear, to me, your favorite nuclear, I'm like Hiroshima to you.
Little boy.
I actually have you at 0%.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's nice.
Well, I know who you are. Right. You are the most selfish human who's ever walked the face of the earth.
That's a fact.
So at some point, a zebra doesn't change its stripes or a tiger. Like, I know who you are. Okay. I know you only care about yourself. So that
night I had a good night, and right away I go, "You're changing the room.
I can't expect
You're changing the room. The vibes are changing."
But you also
stick together.
You also just could have, if you didn't acknowledge, be like, "I'm paying attention to this game." None of it happens. But
if
you're
you watch. I go, "You're not sticking together. We're not sticking together. It's changing the room." And then I go like this. Point.
Oh,
we'll get that clip right to the TV. I'm like, "Let's go."
You didn't watch the play.
Oh. This is the problem,
After
Rico.
the touchdown,
you can't
you scream fuckers and leave.
No.
Now I'm
you
like,
were never watching just on your phone. Be like, well, what about the deleted? You didn't give a fuck.
Do you know what he is? Rico's a butt guy. He's a butt guy. Like I replayed that night a million times in my head, and every time I've replayed it, I've said, I fucked up. I'm sorry. There's been nothing else because I know I fucked up. There's no explanation for me fucking up like that. I fucked up. I helped Dave lose $500,000.
Right.
Period. End of story.
When somebody whacks into your car, you can get out of the. That's all. I got out of the car and was like,
right.
No.
So you're right.
But
I should have
always
stayed in the car maybe a little longer.
Again,
but I did get rear-ended.
Again, I don't hold you. There is no illusion to me of who you are.
Okay. Was I or was I not positive all night?
Can you say sorry?
Can we get an abbreviated version of what happened in case
did or did not? Brandon not even know your value of the bet till the second quarter.
Yes, Hank, I can give you an abbreviated version. I've placed $500,000 bets prior to Saturday 3 times in my life. I'm 1-2. I was up. I was 1-2 going into that game.
Oh, I thought you won. You won Packers.
And I lost Ohio State and Wisconsin.
Got it. What was the one? Bengals was half a
Right, yeah.
$250,000.
Yep. So
sorry.
I thought that one too. Yeah.
During this show, Dan showed me the face of the interim coach of Virginia Tech, and I loved the looks of him. I'm like, I'm going to bet this. Didn't think it was. Then, because Rico is relegated, Kelly in Vegas, I'm like, what's your pick of the week? Kelly in Vegas is the best gambler we have here by a mile. She, not even knowing what the interim coach looked like, also picked Virginia Tech. So it's like, oh my God. The interim coach, Kelly in Vegas, is going to be the biggest play I've ever made in my life, tied with it. So I placed the bet. We go to watch the house. Virginia Tech looked wildly unprepared in the first half. Like, guys wide open, just playing like absolute dog shit.
Punting
on 4th and 1s, just terrible. So,
right down the field.
Second half, we start. I think I asked Dan, I'm like, what chance do you think I have of winning? I think you said 18%.
Yeah.
I was like 3. I'm like, let's just try to will it. We all watched the game. Me, Brand Walker to my right, Dan to my left, Rico to the far left. And lo and behold, Virginia Tech starts crawling back into this game. They're fired up. It's terrible weather.
It was hard work.
Onside kick.
The wide receivers are making plays out of their ass. They score a touchdown. Then they proceed to do a surprise onside kick, recover it, go down, score another touchdown. Suddenly they're in the number and controlling the game. Miami's offense is out of sorts, can't move the ball. We're getting pressure. Things are starting good. We're all watching the game. There's 10 minutes left. Miami has the ball around their midfield, maybe it's just either 45, something like that. And to my right, Brandon Walker comes out of nowhere, and he's like, what are these tweets about, this text I got about Rico? And passes the phone backwards to Casey, who looks at it and says something. And at this point, I'm looking around, and I'm like, can we just stay together? Like, we've been rowing together. There's 10 minutes left in this game. Please, can we just stay together for 10 minutes? They start passing the phone. The phone goes to Dan. Dan and Rico are talking. Dan says, Walker's like, all right, no, we'll stay together. We'll stay together. Dan says, do you want me to air out the tweets to Rico? Which Rico says yes. They read the tweets, which is essentially Rico deleted his losses or something. And Brandon Walker jumps back into the fray.
No validity.
Yeah, like they deleted the tweets, this, that, the other thing. That's all you care about. You definitely did something shady.
No.
You 100% did.
Always.
So they're all talking to each other about these deleted tweets. And while they're all looking at each other, pointing, Miami, 1 touchdown in the second half. Right then, a 55-yard bomb, touchdown. They never came back. That changed the vibes of that day. The next day, I was up 1 point. I put $300,000 into the sports book, I don't know, a couple months ago. I turned it into $1.6 million. It is gone. I went back down to $300,000. I lost every game since that onward. Brandon Walker after it. So I was so mad because I've done this a lot, and people are going to be like, oh, vibes doesn't matter. I was so mad at them. I got up, I went back, left the room, took my jacket. I'm like, I got to leave because of I couldn't believe what happened. I was waiting for my Uber. They came out there, no, don't leave. We'll watch it out there. I'm like, I can't be around any of you. It's such bad vibes. I sat back down on the couch. I could hear Brandon Walker still talking, and I'm like, who sent that text? He says some dude, Chris. And then Walker and I start yelling back at each other, which is a grave mistake he made in light of what happened. It's like, I just lost $500,000 because of you. Told me to shut the fuck up. I told him to shut the fuck up. And that's pretty much how it happened. Now, Walker has got Dan apologized right after.
I know I fucked up.
A text.
I lost you money.
Rico never apologized. And again, I don't need it from him because.
Did you want to hear from me Saturday night? Like, I figured there's a day grace period.
Well, but I didn't really respond to Dan either.
No, he didn't. I knew that for the record. So we got kicked out of the room. I sat on that dog bed. I told Brandon to shut up. He didn't. Dave walked out right after the game's over. I know I caught, like, I absolutely had some part in losing that bet. Like, 100%, no doubt in my mind. I fucked up very, very bad. I texted Dave at like 11:30 at night. I knew he wasn't going to respond that night. I said, I'm sorry, period. I fucked up, period. Then he responded in the morning, which I expected. And that was, like, I just knew I fucked up.
Watching the clip back was jarring when you see. I explained to you, Hank. You're like, what happened? And I'm like,
It's immediate.
Yeah, we changed everything.
I'm like, they started talking, and the second they did it, like I was begging them to stop, and then they instantly scored a touchdown.
It was like Franz Ferdinand, World War I, changed the course of time. We did. We changed the course of time.
It was insane, the timing of it. I mean, I was begging. Like, please just stay together. I literally say on the video, it's 10 minutes. We can't stay together for 10 minutes. But why to Rico? Rico doesn't care. He can say he cares, he doesn't. Rico only cares about Rico. And that's why I'm not mad at him. Like, obviously, it's more Brandon Dan because you know Rico. Right. You hit him with a stethoscope in the knee, it's going to go up. Like, he's a selfish human. He's never going to care about anybody but himself, his tweets, this, that. So, yeah, if you provoke him like that, you just can't do it at the 10-minute mark.
You still haven't apologized?
I said, I'm sorry, Dave.
No,
and I'm also sorry that he dragged me into it.
See,
because we're a team. He's trying to tear up the big three. He's trying to tear up the big three. He's been doing it since day one.
But do you get
who's trying to tear up the big three?
Brendan.
But do you get that there? And shout out to Jersey Jerry. He told me to get Brant Walker off that couch beforehand.
The guy has the size.
He's like, this guy is bad news, and he is. I'll never be on.
What do you mean he told you to get him off beforehand?
He texted Dave.
He texted. He goes, Brant Walker is bad vibes. Get him off that couch.
And he wouldn't move. He said he wouldn't move.
What?
He doesn't believe in vibes. He didn't know he had the $500,000 until the second quarter.
He said that.
Brendan was not ready to go. If you notice, I didn't say a word about other bets.
Jersey Jerry's
they're like asking
I'm
watching
this.
True.
He's like, he said that. He texted before, and he's like, I'm watching the stream, and he is bad news. Get him off that couch.
Jersey Jerry, he sees the future.
So
I'm protecting you, Rico, because then you get people going watching the tapes. We definitely talked about other bets,
but never it was never over the top. I didn't do any tangents. We didn't have a lot of laughs. But we were there for Virginia Tech cover.
If you actually, like, Dave's got $500,000 on this game, and they're provoking me, like, we can deal with this after the game. And
you're right. That's the mistake I made. I did say right away, you're changing the room. We're not sticking together. And then looked at the TV. That was my move. Side.
You didn't even watch the play. And you didn't even look up. When I stormed out, you did. Well, you continued to talk about your...
Because it was so quick.
And
I was pissed I got rear-ended.
I just don't understand why you can't say sorry.
I did say
exactly.
Sorry. I'm sorry I got rear-ended.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm sorry I got rear-ended.
Exactly. You just said you were pissed you got rear-ended. I just lost $500,000.
Like, has it ever dawned on you? You could just say,
me being rear-ended, it's butterfly effect. Me being rear-ended affected
accident.
you losing $500,000.
You're basically
and you know
dead.
it. Yes, you do. Because me being rear-ended, so yes, I'm pissed I got rear-ended because it lost you $500,000.
No.
Yes, I don't get rear-ended, they cover.
If you don't get but
it's a 3-car accident, Dave.
But you keep stopping in traffic over and over.
Slammed on the brakes.
That night, not a lot of stories, not a lot of laughs. I was right. Who was telling you guys were open?
You slammed on the brakes.
I didn't even make a big deal out of the South Carolina thing. They were like shitting on me. I'm like, oh, you're right. Let's go right away.
What's South Carolina?
When I was like, hey, you know what? They're going to be a good bowl team. And Dan and Brandon are like, oh, that's obvious. I was like, all right.
Oh, yeah, that
wasn't like a mad. Didn't bite my fist.
Listen.
Okay, right. And I said, let's go. But we're here for one. I equated it to Brendan being a bridesmaid, and he was complaining about the gift. We were there for your wedding. Take the pictures and shut up. Yeah, but I think I shut up and took the pictures.
No, because fine, but you can be a bridesmaid and you know you're at someone else's wedding and someone tried to pick a fight and you just do it. You're like, now I got to ruin the wedding.
You do get a reaction to getting punched in the face. I lean my head.
No, you picked up a cake and you smash it in the face. And
I disagree with that. That would have been storming off. I did say, hey, change. We're here for Dave's wedding. That's what I said.
Didn't.
Stick together. You're changing the vibes.
But you were in it.
You're changing the room.
Again, I'm not mad at you. You are the most selfish.
One, that I got rear-ended.
Say sorry?
And two, I wish I told you to cash out right away. I would have been the hero.
Just say sorry.
I'm sorry, Dave.
You're not sorry. I not accept it.
Okay. But you did say I have 0% blame.
You do.
Right.
Because
So I'm apologizing for...
You do not have...
It's something that I didn't do.
Right.
So you're not
the
sorry.
only thing you could ever apologize
you say
for...
You're like, I'm a very fucking thoughtful and generous guy.
No, you're not. No.
That's just not true.
It's not at all.
It's actually something I struggle with because I always root for you to wake up one day and be like, oh, I'm not going to be Miko Bosco. I struggle with it. I've now slowly kind of accepted it myself.
All right.
You are the most selfish human I've ever met.
All right. Got that orchestra in an hour the other day.
But that even is so selfish. Like, you're a full-time employee here. Like, I do 30 of those tasks a day.
Yeah.
You want to?
No, I didn't.
You want a ticker tape parade?
No, I didn't.
For like calling to get an orchestra.
No, I never said that.
How many times have you mentioned the orchestra?
A few.
Because it turned out so well, and just big three. Like
it's a big three.
When everyone says, "Oh, you're amazing," that's for the team. That's for the team.
It's like your job.
Yeah, and I'm happy to do it.
Yeah. Right.
Congrats for doing your job.
It's not. I wasn't looking for a congrats.
Well, you keep saying like example of you not being selfish is you called to get the orchestra to make our
dropped everything to get it going.
But it's the middle of the day. It's your work here.
All right,
you dropped everything, Dave.
Yeah, made it top priority.
He dropped everything to make an email.
I'm 0% mad. I just know you will run somebody over. You know, if it benefits you in a heartbeat.
That's a fact. Come on.
I disagree.
Come on. That's a fact. Any comment real quick before we get to the games? Dickie V.
Yeah, he's back tonight.
Out of cancer.
Yeah, good.
Out of the hospital.
Good to hear.
So you lost that bet.
Well, he bet on him to die.
He bet on him to die. It's crazy. It's so fucked up. He tried to get Westy to put it in the exclusive section at Barstool Sportsbook.
It's good to hear.
All right, let's get into some games. Rico's back, by the way. He's unrelegated? Yeah. You're unrelegated.
Well, no. Who did Kelly
Well,
have?
Kelly's initial lock is Virginia Tech, so I think you get unrelegated, right? Dave?
It's your decision.
Kelly won.
In the pick'em parlay.
Yeah, because you can't do Virginia
relegated?
Tech. She stays.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay. All right, so
Dave is facing relegation. Let's put that on the record now.
No, yes,
so we
he
don't
is.
have any.
Yep.
Don't have any drama after
that is
fact.
true.
Yeah, I'm facing relegation.
Yeah,
What was that, Rico?
I wasn't going to bring it up. It's a tough week.
Wait,
We don't
what?
want- that's
Wait,
exa-
so but what about? Okay, forget it. This is.
I just wanted to avoid a
only
situation
time
like last time.
Just so you know, this whole relegation mess
started everything.
Yes,
it's
because
the domino. It's the
Kelly
first
in
domino.
Vegas,
Yes,
we're calling for.
Yes, it's the first domino with all of this.
I would argue if you guys didn't enjoy picking on me so much, the relegation never would have. You would have just been like, hey, we're a team, big three, let's all stick together. Everybody stays in the minors, nobody goes down. Everybody stays in the majors.
I would argue that if you weren't the way you were, we wouldn't pick on you.
All right.
It's
Thanks.
a chicken and an egg.
All right.
Right?
Yeah. An off the street guy found his niche here. Yeah, all right. You're right.
Got
That's
the
the way I
orchestra yesterday.
am. Yeah. I have a chip on my shoulder. I'm like Bob Diaco. A little chip on my shoulder. People have been saying for years, you can't do this. All right.
It is just very weird seeing you every day now. I don't know how I feel about it.
No,
I'm just
I
saying
think
it's
you
weird.
guys-
It's
yeah,
weird. It's hard. It's
You're like
hard to see
tired
you
of
every
me.
day.
Yeah, you're like tired of me.
No, I'm
you
not
got
tired
what
of
you
you.
wanted, and
I'm not tired of you.
It's lasted a week, 2 weeks.
It's like sober sex. It's just not the same. Okay, we've been fucking in the daylight.
Right.
Now it's like, all right, yeah. We're in hotels and we're drinking on the weekends. We're having sex. Now you and we're coming in each other's holes
I know,
at fucking
it's
10 o'clock on a Tuesday.
I know,
It just
it's-
doesn't feel the same.
You're just stuck now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stuck in your hole forever. All right, here we go. Everyone's below the 50%
Everybody
line. No
sucks.
trophy right now.
How many more weeks are we doing?
We got next week for conference championship week, and then we always do one bowl season.
So, all right.
So it's kind of coming down.
2 episodes left.
2 episodes left. So yeah, it's make or break time. Everyone's below 50%. I am in the middle of November to remember. I
You're
promise
doing well.
everyone I'm
Yeah,
trying to
you're doing very well.
hopefully stay a little hot. But let's get into some games. Ole Miss versus Mississippi State first up. I'll start. I have 2 games this week that
How
I'm
are we going to do this by 12:30? By the way,
we got this. We got this. We got
gonna
this.
have to be
Because,
quick.
yeah, we're going to go quick. I have 2 games this week that I am handicapping that has nothing to do with the actual game. It has everything to do with just what happened last weekend. The first one is this game. I'm taking Ole Miss because if there is karma in the world, Ole Miss wins this game. Give me Ole Miss +1.
same Ole Miss +1. I hate Brandon Walker. I hate. There's the only thing I hate more than Brandon Walker is fake apologies. Both Rico and Brandon Walker have issued fake apologies. So I will take Ole Miss. I also like the over 62 now. It is.
I also like the over. Put it on my card. Rico, what do you got on this
It's
game?
the karma game. I think Brandon also owes me an apology too. Yours should have came first. He rear-ended me.
Oh.
I think it's
At the end of the day,
it's got to be Ole Miss.
You lost a $500,000 bet, but the person who was most wronged in this was Rico.
I never ever said that. I never ever said that. But me being rear-ended bumped into his Ferrari, and that's a fact.
You didn't bump into the Ferrari. You knocked my car off a cliff into like rocks, a fiery death. I didn't get rear-ended or bumped. I got fucking assassinated and ambushed.
Right. Ole Miss. Mississippi State's defense is going to be the key here. If they can stop them, they have a much better defense. But it's all vibes for me, which some people don't believe in. It's Ole Miss.
Yes. All right, let's do the next game because this is the next game that I'm handicapping.
Yeah, this is
completely off of nothing
about.
X's and O's, no Jimmys and Joes. Michigan plus 7.5, over under 63.5. Because of what took place on Saturday night, Dave is off of the Michigan-Ohio State stream. He's taking a break from streams. This is why I'll go first again. Michigan's going to win this game. Dave has suffered through, I shouldn't say suffered because his pro football team wins all the time, but he has watched, and we have watched him watch Michigan get absolutely dunked on year in and year again by Ohio State. He's done it with Big Ev. He's watched on streams. He's gone to the game. This is the first time he's not going to be on stream or at the game. Michigan's going to win because of that.
Yeah, I'm not. And people are like, what does one thing have to do with the other? How I felt in that's like we've been doing these streams every single weekend. I have a rental in Miami till my play's ready. I haven't gone at all because I'm doing these streams to carry people like Miko Bosco and Brandon Walker to the finish line. And then this is the thanks I get. So it's like, you know what? I'm going to do me, and I'm going to go to Miami this weekend. That's how I thought. So I agree with what Dan said. I don't see any way Michigan keeps this game close. I think they're fucking in the league of Michigan State and Penn State, and Ohio State's killing them. But me not being on the stream for my revenge plays a factor, so I'll take Michigan. I'd take them anyways. But.
Part of I've been trying to reverse my own karma because I do believe in all these things. And one final piece I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to place a large wager for me on Michigan money line on the live stream and just suffer it with Big Ev laughing in my face. I think that will be my final act of trying to reverse the bad karma I've placed on Dave because he won't be there, so I might just sit there and just eat shit in his place.
I'll also say, as much as Big Ev is a fatzo and it's Michigan-Ohio State week, I'll give him credit on that stream. He was the only one who remained engaged. He had instant reaction, same as I did, while everyone else was playing footsies and patty cakes. Big Ev did react instantly with me. Even he may have reacted quicker to that touchdown than I did. While Rico's staring at his phone, being like, me, Big Ev was engaged. So thank you, Big Ev.
Rico.
I'm in a pickle.
Uh-oh.
Well,
you will be on the stream as well?
You're not in a pickle. You do you. Ohio State. I don't like.
But I'm only then increasing the profile of a me guy.
You can't increase it more.
You tried to take San Diego State as your mortal lock last week.
Which you never even said thank you to us for talking you off of that. UNLV covered.
Well, that's because when we walked in, you don't talk about Friday. We're there for Dave's wedding. It was Virginia Tech. We had one purpose.
Because thanking us would
Virginia Tech
would never come out of your mouth.
That should have been an all-time night. Virginia Tech.
We got there like an hour and a half before the game kicked off.
Boise and a laugher. That's what it should have been. That should have been a great night. All right, so I'm in a pickle because all year I've said anything on.
Just take them. I don't. This is the benefit of you being you. I don't you are the most selfish human in the world. People know what you're gonna do. Take Ohio State, you selfish son of a bitch. Everyone knows who you are, Rico. Rico, we know who you are.
Ohio State first half. Ohio State team total. Ohio State.
Thank you.
Ohio State's lock of the week.
Yeah.
Cut it right out.
Lock of the week?
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you right now. If it's weird. So
it's not weird.
If Ole Miss doesn't win Thursday, I think for sure Michigan, like there's no way he's not splitting at worst. I think he's going 2-0, which scares me too.
But I'm not betting on these.
No, karma.
And I believe in all this. People will say, and I think actually Pick'em listeners will agree with us more than like the general
100%
public
gamble.
because they're gamblers. There was a debate raging on after Saturday night being like, well, Dave made a bad pick. He should own it. They had nothing to do with it. We had everything to do with it. I absolutely believe all these things are connected, and people will be like, dude, you're putting on a shtick. No.
How
I
do you
lost.
not think it's connected? They scored on one play in the
Yeah.
second half at the precise moment everything went to shit.
I had a bloodbath Sunday.
I got killed on Sunday.
It's all connected. It's all going to. I will continue to take a beating until something reverses for me, and that's me betting on Michigan. And Michigan will probably lose, but I'll take the shit of losing a bet on the money line and Big Ev laughing in my face.
Like
but you have Ohio State.
So I think it worked. Like if Ole
all
Miss,
that said,
if
you have
Ole Miss
Ohio
wins, I'm feeling better about Ohio State because I do think he could split that. If Mississippi State wins,
You and Walker took Ohio State big. That's all you need to know. Let's move on to the next game.
if Mississippi State,
All right, next game, Iron Bowl, Alabama, Auburn. Dave.
I just don't think Alabama's that good. I won't touch this game with 10-foot pole. I'll take Auburn in the points just because I don't think Alabama's great, but I don't like the game.
Rico.
no Bo Nix. I don't know what to make of Auburn. I do know Bama's kind of letting What?
Nothing. Who's playing?
What did I say?
No, nothing.
I said no Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Isn't Bo Nix still out?
No, he is.
What did I say?
You didn't say anything.
Is Bo Nix playing?
No.
Bama's letting a lot of teams hang around. I don't know what to make of Alabama letting a lot of teams hang around. With that said, I can't really stick with Auburn. I'm going to take Bama.
Okay.
What did I say wrong?
Nothing.
What is the fucking issue?
Hank and I like how you say two teams. One is Houston
Yeah.
and the other is Auburn.
All right.
It's funny.
We're
I don't know.
accent
It's not like
shaming
a
now. All right.
It's not a mean thing.
It's My Fair Lady.
I like it. Oh my
It's
god.
endearing.
My Fair
It's
Lady.
endearing.
They accent
Jesus
shamed.
Christ.
What you want? You trying to get me on your side?
It's not a mean thing. It's a funny thing. It's like an endearing. You say Auburn. I
Yeah.
like it.
Houston.
Houston. Yeah, Houston. All right. I'm taking Auburn.
Hank, you've had a rough year as a rider.
What? Are you serious?
This is a banner year.
Hank is my relationship with
banner
Hank
year.
has been
Yes.
fractured because of how much
Yes.
he fucking sides with you. You've broken up the big two in me and Hank.
Facts. This has been a banner year for me.
that actually sums up everything you need to know about Rico Boston.
That was
He's
perfect.
the most selfish guy ever.
One name, one word about like Houston or Auburn, and Rico just turns at the guy who literally can't get Rico's cock out of his mouth all season long, and he's like, "You're out of the Riders."
It's like a guy is across like a river infested with like sharks and alligators. If you don't lay down and form a bridge for Rico to walk over you while you get eaten, and he's the only one who makes it to the other side of the river, you've had a bad year as a rider.
You would make an awesome dictator.
Oh my God.
Like the best. Like Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin, Bosco. That's it right there, the big four.
No coincidence.
Can we
He's
make
friends with the
is it
H-Man.
Black Friday time?
Yes.
still?
Yes, Mount Rushmore of dictators.
We do have, there is rider merch coming on Black
Yes,
Friday,
there
by
is.
the way.
Okay.
This is the last show to plug it.
And if you don't get it, then
Yeah.
you die in a gulag.
We do have a couple of bodies too. I got a couple of bodies as a dictator too. So
Oh, man. All right, I'm taking Auburn, plus 19.5. All right, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Paul Bunyan's axe. Wisconsin trying to go to the Big Ten championship game. Big Ten West on the line. Wisconsin's minus 6.5, over-unders 39. I think Wisconsin's going to win this game, and I think they're going to cover. They have found something with Braylon Allen. Also, Graham Mertz is starting to play a lot better. Nebraska game, I'll throw out that defensive effort because I think any type of dual-threat quarterback gives Wisconsin some problems. I think Wisconsin wins and covers.
I like the way they're trending.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't play great against
They're
Nebraska.
going to have a Wisconsin season. They're going to have a nice season. They're going to get to the Big Ten. This is Wisconsin written all over it. PJ Fleck's also dead to me. Wisconsin.
I like Minnesota to keep this game close. This is the second. I've had 3 $500,000 losses in my life. This is one of them. 2 years ago, I took Minnesota. They got killed against Wisconsin. I think they keep this game close. Man, I would like to have an even record in those $500,000 games.
Yeah, that was that day, Michigan, and then doubling it up on Minnesota.
And now I'm in bad vibes again for Feast Week. Ruined my Thanksgiving. Thanks, Rico.
Last one, Bedlam, Oklahoma State. I'm so
One of
excited
my
for
favorite
Saturday.
games of the year.
By the way, Dave will not be on stream, but I will be there. I think Rico will be there. I think other people, Big Ev will be there.
Yeah.
I think Kareem's going to watch Paul Bunyan's Axe with
nice.
me. Well, you don't like Kareem, I don't think, right?
I like Kareem.
Oh, okay.
He abandoned Pick Central.
Oh, okay. But we will have a stream on Saturday for all these games. All right, Oklahoma State, Rico.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's talking about Gundy. I'm rooting for Gundy more than anybody to get to the fucking playoff.
Yeah.
This is a lifer, team under the radar. He hasn't said much. They're a different type of team. Defense. Oklahoma, you don't know what to make of them. Like,
Well, they're not very good.
yeah, right.
Sneaky.
They loved Williams.
Worst
They
10-1
hate
team.
Williams. Give me Oklahoma State. I love Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State at home too, correct?
Yeah.
Oklahoma
Yeah,
State.
same. I think this. I love Oklahoma State. They're smothering defense. I don't think Oklahoma's very good. I think this could be a 2-score, 3-score game.
Yeah. I'm taking Oklahoma State as well. I was very, very impressed with Oklahoma State in a look-ahead spot against Texas Tech. Did Texas Tech score? I don't think they
I
scored.
don't think so.
That was very impressive.
Maybe 3.
Obviously, Texas Tech isn't like
How many did they give up? 3
classic
points?
Texas
0?
Tech.
Damn.
But, yeah, Oklahoma State's playing incredible
At
defense.
night, I love this game.
Caleb Williams, we've never anointed someone faster than Caleb Williams.
Kirk Herbstreit
After
was
that
talking about
Texas.
being a Heisman sleeper.
Yeah, no, people were saying,
Yeah.
grab a ticket. All right, let's do, so those are the premier games. Let's do our cards and our lock of the weeks, and then we have a very special guest, Bob Diaco, on the show.
Awesome interview.
Yep.
We've only done 2 guests ever, Pat Hill and
We
Bob
need
Diaco.
if I ask you to do something, will you then ask for credit for it for the rest of your life, even if it's involved in your job?
This is all I got. I'm team guy. Let's go. What do we need to do?
Can you get some sort of like Barstool Pick'em guest trophy where we just put it so it'll be Pat Hill and now just Diaco? Anybody just something?
Actually, you know what we should do? We have the Pat Hill trophy.
Yeah.
Maybe not this year because you can't really do a trophy halfway, at the end of the year. But I think Mortal Lock winners should get the Bob Diaco Mortal Lock trophy, and everyone in the room is.
I like
You know
that.
what I mean? It's 2 trophies. Yeah, because everyone here does Mortal Locks.
All right.
So next season will be the Bob
We just
Diaco.
gotta make sure the Pat Hill trophy though is more. It's like the Lombardi versus the Lamar Hunt.
Yes. And then Bob Diaco will be almost like the MVP.
Yeah.
And Pat Hill will be the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I like that because everyone here can
All right.
compete for it. So the Bob Diaco Mortal Lock
That
trophy.
will
of the
be
year.
Labor Day 2022.
Okay, great. Hopefully we're still here.
Yeah, I know. That's the other
Right.
elephant in the room.
Right. We might be dead.
Oh,
Oh, fired. Sorry, fired.
right.
Right.
I have no idea what's happening.
I don't either. What's the elephant in the room?
Nothing.
No, do.
No, that you got.
You have a fetish.
You do. You have a fetish.
Well, what else could the elephant in the room
No, that
be?
you see you got me, and then, like you said, it's you.
Oh, we kicked the curb.
You'll be out by Christmas.
You got a fetish.
You may,
got a fetish.
you may cause me to leave, and then it'll be like, what is that show with Tom Hanks?
Biloxi Blues.
No.
Castaway.
No, he's the gangster.
Philadelphia.
Catch Me If You Can.
Saving Private Ryan.
Catch Me If You Can.
No.
Catch Me If You Can.
His kid witnesses a murder.
Toy Story.
No.
The Firm.
Sorry, good call.
What?
The Firm.
No.
No.
Big.
Big. Oh, Big's a great movie.
I only watched
Forrest
it once,
Gump.
and I like
Forrest Gump. Forrest
Captain
Gump.
Phillips.
Ooh, nice.
I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain. Ooh, and
It's
look at
actually
me.
a
Look at
fucking
me. I'm the
great
captain.
ass movie.
Fuck.
Biloxi Blues. He was on TV.
What was the one where he did with the fucking shit, it was World War II.
Catch Me If You Can. You want to hear a
I already
joke?
did
Knock,
Saving
knock. Who's there? Go
Private
fuck
Ryan.
The
yourself.
Road to Perdition.
Road to Perdition. Road to Perdition.
We were so close.
He's speaking with the mobsters, and they said, "You don't understand. You this entire time you've been living under our protection. If you go out on your own, you're on your own. When you force me out, and there's no one to protect you from, hitting people with microphone stands and squeezing. You don't understand the world that you'll create for yourself, but you're going to create it when you push me out. You're going to squeeze me out.
Yeah,
I haven't
he's
pushed you.
You're squeezing me out.
Business Insider and New York Magazine think that they're gonna get Dave out of Barstool. Guess what happens when you get Dave out of Barstool? We literally become the Nazi Party with Rico in charge.
Correct.
That's true. You would have this. You would try to take over a power vacuum if Dave left. Would have Rico Bosco fill in that hole so fast.
I would think that you would be the
Nope.
next in command.
No, you're my boss.
All right.
See how fast that was?
I hope it's in 20 years. But whenever it is, I am primed for the task.
Yeah.
I hope it's in 20 years.
Yeah, you're prime. All right.
All right, Dave, do your card.
All right, I got Ole Miss in the over, plus 162. I'm going to take Florida State. Debacle in Florida almost seems too easy. This one, plus 3.
I agree.
I like Oregon State, plus 7 against Oregon. I think that'll be a close game.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Tennessee, minus 31 at home against Vandy, over 62.5.
You love Tennessee.
That should have been my pick. That would have been my big play. Not that much, but they won easy. Minnesota plus 7 at home against Wisconsin. South Carolina at home plus 11.5 against Clemson. Oak State minus 4 at home against Oklahoma. Kentucky plus 2.5 on the road against Louisville. Notre Dame minus 19.5 against Stanford. I'll just give my mortal right now. It's Tennessee minus 31 at home against Vandy.
Love it. Love it. Rico, your card.
All right. Ole Miss minus 1, gambling karma. Utah State minus 15.5. They need a win to be in the mix in that side of the division. It's still, they had an awful loss against Wyoming last week. Fade New Mexico. We saw how bad New Mexico is. I'm going to keep doing it. Utah State minus 15.5. Utah State's the lock. I'm sorry, Ohio State's the lock. Ohio State first half, Ohio State team total. Oregon plus 7.5. Oregon State plus 7.5. It's the first time I've ever bet against Oregon in the Civil War, which I know you're not allowed to call it anymore. They got a good offense, fairly respectable defense. Oregon, I don't know if they're going to get off the mat. I don't really know what they're playing for. Give me Oregon State plus 7. I know it's a rivalry, but give me Oregon State. They're shell-shocked. Purdue minus 15. Their pass offense is unbelievable, and Indiana is a straight-up dead dog. Give me Purdue minus 15. Oklahoma State minus 4 is what I had it at. Their D is the backbone. I love Gundy. Notre Dame minus 19. Stanford's dead. And they're still playing for the playoff. And we saw it last week. They hung it on Georgia Tech. I know it's Georgia Tech, but 55-0. I think Notre Dame needs some style points. BYU minus 7. Hold on a second. Stanford's dead. Give me BYU minus 7. USC is dead as well. I like BYU. Top 20 team in the country. Give me BYU. And Tulsa plus 6.5. SMU has quit. I think Tulsa might win the fucking game outright. They're also, I think, playing for a bowl. They got 5 and 6 or whatever they're at. They could play for a bowl. Tulsa plus 6.5. I think they win the game.
Okay. I am going with Oregon State plus 7. Florida State plus 2. ECU plus 14, that's Friday. Boise minus 2.5, that's against Cincy. ECU's been playing pretty well, and I think Cincy did their flex last week. Boise minus 2.5. Western Kentucky plus 1. Bailey Zappi. I think he's gonna lead the country in passing yards. Love that guy. Nebraska, which we should bring up. Nebraska plus 1.5. I know that Martinez is out, but if you haven't seen it, the guy who passed away, Milton Andrew Munson, put in his obituary in lieu of flowers, please place an irresponsibly large wager on Nebraska beating Iowa.
I will say we're going to have an Iowa sweatshirt patch game, first one ever for the people of Iowa on that game. It'll be $100 if they cover to get it, so that's one thing to throw.
But it's a dead guy game.
Yep.
He asked, and who am I? I'm also trying to collect as many karma points. I'm Sonic the Hedgehog right now, trying to get my rings back. If you watch that stream, you can see the moment where I got knocked and all my karma rings flew around. So I'm trying to collect them back. I'll take Nebraska. And then my lock. Did you do your lock?
Yeah.
What was it again?
Ohio State.
Ohio State, that's right. My lock is BYU minus 7.
Love it.
At USC. USC has completely quit. What UCLA did to them, that defense. USC's offense still has a little fight. Their defense does not want to play. They do not want to be there. They don't have a coach. So give me BYU. The worst thing you can have against a team that has quit is a bunch of fucking 27-year-olds showing up, and BYU is not a quit team.
Samoans ready to go.
Yeah, so that's my lock of the week. I'm going to add to my card as well, obviously, because we're taping this Tuesday. Also, my respect pick of the week, Maction, last weeknight Maction. I'm going to take the over 59.5 in Buffalo Ball State and the over 60.5 in Western Michigan, Northern Illinois. That's my respect Maction. 2 bets.
Your Mac picks have been good, right?
They've been on fire.
Very good.
Thanks, Hank.
You said it's the last one.
No, I know.
They fucked up moving that championship game.
Well, it doesn't.
No,
it's the last one.
I know.
It's the last 2. It's not
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Katie,
trying to give you some props,
7-6 and Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State, love it.
Indeed.
Fuck.
A lot of pressure next year with Bob Diaco trophy.
I know. If it was this year, I would low-key probably win it.
Yeah, I'm
low-key, high-key?
6 and
On
7,
third, but low-key about to win.
And I would take Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
I don't understand how I have one less more to lock than you guys, but I'm 8-5, and I am also taking Oklahoma State, which worries me.
Okay, yeah, that's a consensus everywhere. Dylan?
I'm
Ole
changing it
Miss.
to Oklahoma. I'm changing it to Oklahoma.
Wow.
Oklahoma.
+4.
+4. Sprinkled money.
Ohio State, BYU. Do we have Kelly's pick?
No.
Okay, so Kelly's pick will be in the pick'em. So it's Tennessee, BYU, and then whatever Kelly picks. Second last show next week. Yeah. Good show, everyone. Let me do the last ad before we get to Bob Diaco. See if Kelly responds, if she has one on deck. It's early in the week. This show is brought to you by our friends at Rhoback Activewear. It's safe to say we bet on these guys any day of the week because we absolutely love their gear. Rhoback makes the sharpest performance polos, performance hoodies, and Q-zip pullovers in the game. First, Rhoback's new performance hoodies are a total game changer, maybe the softest, stretchiest hoodies in the game. NFL and college football stars can't get enough of them, and neither can we. The best part about wearing a Rhoback hoodie is when you see someone else wearing one, you just give them that subtle nod because you know how they got it. Second, Rhoback's performance Q-zips bring new meaning to the word comfortable, perfect for a night out. The fabric is unbelievably soft. Bad beats don't exist while wearing Rhoback. Finally, Rhoback's performance polos are the only polos we wear. You can't find a better looking, better feeling performance polo. Perfect for the golf course, perfect for going out. Their prints are fire, just quality all around. In all honesty, Rhoback has been gaining traction big time. Do yourself a favor, go parlay a hoodie with a Q-zip and a polo, and you'll be set. Trust us, you won't regret it. Use the word PICK on Rhoback.com for a generous 20% off your first purchase through the end of this week. That's spelled RHOBACK.com. That's 20% off polos, Q-zips, and hoodies with code PICK. The perfect gift for the holidays. Make sure to jump on their newly dropped performance hoodies now. Rhoback.com/pick. She didn't respond yet. You just text her. All right.
She's a couple hours.
All right. Check the Barstool Sports exclusives. Overs Club Thursday night. Hoodie game for Iowa. Pick'em parlay. Everything's out there.
Black Friday.
Happy
Happy
Cyber
Thanksgiving,
Monday.
everybody.
We'll see Rico Cyber Monday.
You have your own room.
Yeah.
You have a room.
Sweet.
You have a safe room, right?
Yes.
Safe room that no one's allowed to go into.
Okay.
What? Is that okay?
Directly violates my contract, and you're already. But whatever.
But a
You-
safe room.
You're joking.
Selfish
You're joking. So
human.
all right.
I'm not. You have a safe room.
All right.
You literally, Dave's making a safe room for
Okay.
you.
We literally. I can't disrupt the entire company's Black Friday because you.
Because you brought in a convict.
Well, who did?
You're the skipper.
No, Dan. This is Dan's concept.
It's Dan's report. You sign off on.
It is my concept. It's a great idea. I'm trying to.
is what it is.
But this is what I mean by you being so selfish.
You
Yeah,
knew
I mean,
what. You
I'm
knew
trying
the
to-
deal.
just so everyone knows.
But you knew
one
the deal.
verse of thousands of people. Our
Okay.
entire company needs this day. You want to change the concept. That's the best concept
No,
because of
you do the concept.
I want
I'm elsewhere.
to
You knew
sell
it. I will
merch.
never appear on a
I
stream.
want to sell
with that,
pay-per-views, and I want
So-
everyone to
Right, and that's good for the
profit.
company. That's great.
So you're going to be in your own room.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay. See everyone Monday. Cyber Monday. Tune in. Going to be an electric
Got
stream. Buy. And if we hit what? What do we decide, Dave? If we hit $1 million, Rico has to come out of his safe room, right?
That's your guy.
Fucking joking. Hopefully he doesn't start another racial chant like he did in high school. You read that article?
Okay, we now welcome on a very special guest. We don't usually have guests on this particular podcast. We've had two. You're the second. Pat Hill was the first. It is Coach Bob Diaco, former coach of the UConn Huskies, football guy through and through. Coach, so let's start. We got a lot of questions, but let's start with why you came up in conversation. So last week, obviously, the civil conflict comes up. The trophy comes up. It's UConn versus UCF. It is the rivalry game that you created. You created this entire thing. So can we walk through that and also where the trophy might be? Because we've been trying to track down the trophy, and there's word that there's like multiple trophies out there.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. So first, I'm honored to be on the program. You guys have created something that's worldwide and awesome, and there's information It's knowledgeable, it's funny, and it's truthful. You guys are honest, and people are drawn to it. I'm drawn to it. Thank you. So the same moment ties into the trophy and the network piece you were talking about a couple shows ago. So they have these meetings, right? Conference meetings. And like all corporate meetings, you go there, you spend a few days, you get the state of the state, and some of the meetings are noodle sessions. And you'd think that that's what you were there to do, although other than Netflix, they probably just want you to sit there and be quiet, you know? So I'm at the meeting for the conference, and on the network piece, they're talking about the ESPN contract that's getting ready to come up. So I'm saying it was a positive conversation, but there was some lamenting, and we started to noodle. And that's where I thought, you know, hey, what are we lamenting about? Like, I don't know about network TV, but I know there's a lot of people that watch Food Network and HGTV and Cooking Network that love football. So why are we chasing this one venue when there's a marketplace? You know, you watch some of these channels and they're doing, you know, pumpkin baking cupcakes made by people named Bill contest. You know, it's like they're looking for content, you know, put a game on one of those channels. And then take it a step further. I had thought, you know, and let's say you try to make an impact on 5 to 8 year olds. Like you can as a university start to advertise on the Cartoon Network, on Nickelodeon, on Boomerang, the schools, the things that the schools do that are cool, the science, the outer space, the chemistry experiments. You know, make a cartoon with the university's mascots where they're involved in hijinks, sandwich it between SpongeBob SquarePants and Ren and Stimpy, you know, and then show the games. Now you got to have some vision and know that in 10 years from now, after marketing, after this intrigue, after they've seen our games, now they're going to be picking universities, boys, girls, people from all demographics all over the world. They're going to be picking universities in 10 years, you know? So basically I don't know that I was laughed out of the room, but it wasn't like, okay.
You got vindicated with that. Yeah. You got vindicated with that one. I feel like a lot of your ideas, I want to.
It was well intended. It was well intended. It was well intended.
You were a precursor on punting too. I saw that. Where people were saying that you're like less and less people punting, and that's basically where we are today too. You said that 10 years before it happened.
Thanks, Dave. What happens is when you end up with one of these jobs, and it morphed as I was in the job, right? It was it happened, and then immediately the landscape of college football started to change dramatically. Like, 1 minute it was a Big East job, and while I transitioned, it became a completely different job. And in that whole piece, and taking over a program that then needed some help in a lot of areas, you're trying to create intrigue. Now, it's no way to coach a game. It also probably cost me at the end. And that's to be thinking about all these other things. You know, what would be exciting? What would the people want to see? What would get butts in the seats? What would add another 5,000 ticket holders, you know? So all things that, you know, you don't, as a coach, you can't have creep in your mind when you're trying to, you know, make a decision. So that was youthful of me on that piece. But in that same meeting, or in a similar meeting, my timeline is a little different. But in one of these noodle meetings, again, this corporate model conference retreat type situation, where we're noodling how to create some intrigue. I know this won't fall on Rigo's ears properly, but I'm a rivalry trophy guy. Mm-hmm. That's where I came up. So at the University of Iowa, I'm a Hawkeye. I played at the University of Iowa for Hayden Fry, and we played there was like 4 trophies, right? We played Iowa State for a trophy. We played Illinois for a trophy. We played Purdue for a trophy, and we played Minnesota for one of the coolest trophies, the Floyd of Rosedale, the giant bronze pig. You go to Notre Dame, we're playing USC for the shillelagh, and so there's all these great trophy games that I'm exposed to and used to, and I started talking about that. Why don't we have some trophy games? I mean, and they could be, I know they're not, well, no, we don't have the kind of tradition. Tradition's got to start somewhere, and you can make it fun. Let's play, we'll bring our pizza from Gino's to the game, or from Frank Pepe's. We'll bring the Frank Pepe's pie. And we'll play Temple for a cheesesteak, and the other guy's got to eat a hot dog or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and you got to eat the guy gets to feast on the pizza. So that's where it came up. I was sitting right next to Coach O'Leary. Everybody, all the coaches were in this meeting, along with the conference brass. So I said, that was selfish. We weren't on that level. We weren't on the level of Central Florida. They were one of the best teams in the country. But so selfishly, I'm like, okay, if I can pick them as our rival, then without even being on their level, we're on some level on their level.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that happened. I thought it would be cool, North versus, the North and the South piece. And that's where the name came up for me. It was all about inclusion. It wasn't about exclusion. It wasn't nothing other than football and competition and genuine love for competition and the spirit of the game. It was nothing political.
So I have a question.
Like
the first time you mentioned the trophy, it's the year before, and it almost looks like you say it off the cuff, like maybe I'm going to make this trophy and I'll put their logo and ours, and then the following year you have it. Did you know, was that truly off the cuff, or you're like, I'm going to plant the seed, I know this trophy is coming?
The answer to that is that I had already had conversations, but they were falling on a little bit of deaf ears, but I didn't get a hard no. I'm not a company man, and I had what I still believe that Ward Manuel is the very best administrator on the planet. Okay. He is fantastic. He's at Michigan. After, we kind of turned the program at Connecticut. We went to a bowl. We played undefeated Marshall off their feet, had a chance to win the game in the fourth quarter. And then that success, along with the rest of the department that had national championships under his direction, he went and got the Michigan job. So I was talking to him about it, and he wasn't like gung-ho on the idea, but he's such a wonderful administrator. He wasn't poo-pooing the idea either for me. He knew that I was excited about trying to create some energy. I think that Coach O'Leary was similar in that, he's looking at me, and he's like awesome. Right. He's such a good football coach and good guy. So he didn't want to, he's got this young guy and he doesn't want to just poo-poo my idea and make me feel bad, so he's so I didn't have like an overwhelming, resounding go, but I also didn't have a no either. So that's why that probably sounded like that, but it wasn't in that moment exactly. It was building and more thoughtful than that.
So the actual trophy, did you purchase it yourself?
Yeah, that's muddy too. It just got to a point where, I think that they were like trying to poo-poo it, and they were like, well, we really don't have it in the budget. I said, okay, well, I'll just write the check out of my bank account and buy it myself.
I love it. So then now, where do you have the trophy? Do you know where the trophy is?
I don't know where the trophy is.
Do you also realize that inadvertently, by the fact that they left the trophy on the field, and there's the video, Scott Van Pelt, you can see, guys, that it turned into, by their total dismissal of the rivalry, it actually sort of became this weird rival yes. that you created, not the way you thought it was going to go down, but it looked like at one point there was heated actual animosity, in the sense UCF saying, we don't care about this rivalry. You're saying, well, it's not their choice who the rival is. And it actually started building up into something that still now we're talking about it like now, like we talk about when they play, like, oh, it's civil conflict. So even the people are like, this is stupid, it's not a rival, you don't pick your rivals. You sort of created a rivalry out of thin air. By the dismissal of the rivalry, it became a rivalry.
And guys, I know it's fun. I know it's a bit of a bit, and I know, I'm mostly laughed at, which is fine. I can take a joke. It was I realized that, but it was really well intended, and it was hurtful that it wasn't acknowledged. And like, I'm not going to give you guys coach speak when I'm talking to you. I really don't do that. I'm going to speak from my heart and my mind, and with my heart on my sleeve. So I was just trying to create something fun and exciting that the people and the fans and the teams could rally around. I was hopeful that it was going to become a thing for every team in the league, and that the schedules were built around those rivalries. For example, it's always a nice weather day with USC and Notre Dame, and Stanford and Notre Dame, because they flip back and forth based on the weather in California and the weather in South Bend. The California game team is an early arrival in October, and ND goes out to California at the end of the season. I was hopeful that all these would be created, even at that level, at a thoughtful level on weather and time and place. It never did quite take that energy. And when they didn't acknowledge it, and I tried, we even tried to bring it to their locker room, because they didn't take it on the field. We tried to bring it to their locker room. That fell on deaf ears.
They said
and
no.
I don't mean in a disparaging.
They
What's
said
that?
no when you brought it to the locker room?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
Who brought it?
and I don't say that to say there's some kind of animosity or jaded. I get why they weren't at that time trying to acknowledge it too. I don't, with humility, I approach this moment, and I get it all. But even though it's a bit and it's in jest, I still think it's cool that it's a bit and no one wants to laugh anymore.
Yeah, it's absolutely
nobody
cool.
wants to laugh. Nothing's funny anymore.
No,
nothing.
Listen, I think Coach Bob Diaco will, like, as the years pass, we will look back and be like, that guy was ahead of his time. Whether it be the Nickelodeon thing, whether it be creating this rivalry. I love every part of it. So we poke fun of it, but we also think, like, I think Bob Diaco is kind of sneaky a genius.
Yeah, we've had two people on the show for coaches. Pat Hill, who undoubtedly is one of the great coaches, and what he did at Fresno and continuing in and it sticks out. We watch every single football game, and I even remember there's different times I was watching you. We were reminiscing, and you'll probably remember this game. I think it was South Florida in the rain. And when I say you, because of the bad weather, you would not throw the ball. You were running. You must have run. If you ran 100 plays, 98 of them were running plays, just because of the weather was so bad. And we've watched everything. What did you call? Didn't you change? You tried to change the red zone too, right?
Yeah,
didn't you have a different?
Yard.
So, like, little things like that, like you almost, and as you're talking, because really I'm curious on your take. We've researched the career, and you were one of these coaches that was on a skyward trajectory, all going all the way, following Kelly to Notre Dame, and then UConn, who really they had success under Etzel, and then nothing else, and then you came and you take him to a bowl game, and I'm watching the clips. He's getting criticized for faking a punt on the road at Missouri. In the press conference after, you're like, well, we're playing an SEC team on the road. UConn would kill themselves right now to be in the position to beat an SEC team on the road.
Yeah.
So as it's going, but hearing you talk these big, huge ideas, I'm almost like the red zone, for example, in the rivalries. Do you think that interfered? Do you think you got caught up in bigger pictures than just worrying about your specific team? You almost looked like you had a commissioner level of what was going on.
I think there's some truth to that. At the end of the day, I have to just take accountability for the fact that the new athletic director's expectations, I did not, and the team did not meet, and that's entirely my fault. We didn't win the games we needed to win. And I can tell you just exactly why I didn't. I wasn't a good enough as a young coach. I wasn't a good enough critical situation coach. The team wasn't prepared. It was prepared in a couple of phases, but not all phases. And I'm responsible for that. What's interesting is the way, like you're pointing out, the way that I was brought up to conduct the game, I ended up with a lot of critical situations because the games are close. The points are down and the games are close. The games are 2-point games, 4-point games, 3-point games, 5-point games, 1-score games. And most of them, even in that final year at Connecticut, were that way. So the critical situations come at you fast and furious. And the Navy would be one. Because, listen, we beat an excellent FCS team at home. We beat Virginia at home. And we go to Marine Corps Stadium to play Miami or Navy. And we're down by 4 and have a chance to win the game with 18 seconds left at the very end, or 26 seconds left at the very end to go 3-0. And now the conversation is a completely different conversation, right? But I blew that opportunity for our team 100% of my own fault. And we ended up losing a hard-fought game. Again, a critical situation. We got 4-down opportunity inside the 5 to beat Syracuse at home the next week. Imagine we do better in those 2 end-of-game offensive critical situations, and we're 4-0. I mean, it's a totally different circumstance. So the red zone piece, I think that, like you said, was I focused on bigger picture stuff. I think that there's a little bit of a misconception out there about me. I'm really kind of a nuts and bolts guy. I'm not, I think deeply about things as it relates to football because, I don't know that I love it more than anyone else that loves it, but I really, really love it. Yeah. I've dedicated my whole life to it every day, all my passion, all my energy, like a lot of people, but no less than anybody. So I give it a lot of thoughtful attention. And inside of that, some of these conversations can take on a life of their own, so you get maybe viewed as eccentric or, hard to deal, outside the box, whatever it is. But, I'm pretty disciplined guy and pretty detailed and pretty tight and pretty traditional and just love to work and love the game.
So what was
the red zone?
Yeah. Tell the red zone. I'm curious on this.
The red zone piece, and guys, you just cut me off if I'm droning on, Dave, for sure.
Yeah, no, go.
So the red zone piece, listen, the best teacher and football coach and tactical coach and personnel evaluator that I worked for, the best one that I've ever been around, is Al Groh. And Coach Groh has the field space dialed in. So as the ball starts to enter the space that some might call the alumni zone, and then it moves into what people might refer to as the fringe, then it starts to become the high red zone, low red zone, tight red zone, or whatever you identify it as, or green or whatever. But that's in relationship to other variables like special teams and your ST. And you'll see coaches, conservative, defensive minded coaches that don't want to take points off the board, or you'll see guys that start to bomb for the end zone and become very aggressive. Brian Kelly's a guy like that. Once he hits a spot where he knows he has the field goal or doesn't know he has the field goal. So as you start to tactically look at teams, each team is different. Every team is different. And those field spaces change. So it's based on the head coach's ideology. Is he going to attack the end zone and try to score once he feels comfortable? Does he even care that he feels comfortable? Does he just want to get into that comfort zone and then see what happens next? They all have an ID. Coupled with the weapons that they have, either as receivers, tight ends, the specialist, the kicking specialists. So all those things come into play, and it varies, and it goes from there. The red zone, which whatever, high red zone starts at the 20, but it doesn't necessarily start at the 20. The passing game might begin to change at the 22. If the vertical passing game, based on the route combinations and the quarterback's ability to throw those combinations without the arc he's been allowed to with all the field space, right? You follow me?
Yep.
You can't throw a vertical ball the same because there's not vertical space. It's not a 50-yard route or a 40-yard route. It's an 18-yard route. So does he have the ability to throw it? Have they changed the patterns? Did that start at the 22? Did it start at the 20? Because if it didn't start at the 22 or the 25 or the 20, then why would you start to call your red zone defenses?
Yeah.
At that point, if you're going to have to defend the exact same plays that you've been defending. So it's just about each team, from head coach and coordinator on down to the offensive personnel, and then again the specialists and who's on the team.
Rico, you want to ask something?
Yeah, the look, obviously, on the sidelines. So we talked about it before we were taping. You're a good-looking guy. You're younger. The maroon pants, was that your own confidence to be able to pull that off, or your wife gave you the nudge? Because either way, I respect it. You looked great.
That's funny. Well, you guys said, like you said the other day, hey, where is he? He's nowhere. You're not going to get me to sign off on that. I got to live in this house. Hey, unfortunately, don't tell my wife, but I got to live in this house right now. I have a test for how long, and I have a new test for if you know how long you've been in the house is too long. So, and this is embarrassing, but if you can fold a woman's shirt proficiently, get out of the house. Go do anything, right? You pick up this shirt, it's like an alien object in your hand. There's one sleeve on one side, none on the other. It's split up the back. It's got comes out of the dryer. There's pads in there. You're like, what am I doing with this thing? So, no, I'm not nowhere, so please pass that along to Julia. No, she doesn't dress me.
You were a sharp up coach, and looking at it, this is a question. Your history, a lot of places fast. So if you go look, year here, year there, a lot of different places, and it may be a little self-reflection and next move. But I'm curious, why so many moves? Is it something that, the UConn, you had a switch in the AD, but why the jump arounds? And to me, and again, there may be others that say this, one bad year, really you had one bad year at UConn, then you had a very good year for UConn, then a bad year. It seems like a quick, you didn't, in my opinion, didn't get a chance to right the ship after that. Do you think you're going to get another coaching job? And along with that, I guess, why the moves? Why so many moves? Like, if I was hiring, that would be a red flag, but that is, I know the world of college football to a degree, people moving. But if you look at you've been in now a lot of places for short periods of time. So what?
I appreciate the question.
Yeah.
And it's an honest question, and it's an appropriate question. So thank you. And thanks for asking it. So
thank you, Dave.
You're welcome.
For example, I can just go back with truthful, honest things that happened. And then you just make the decision yourself about, judging this or that. Connecticut, year 2, we've turned the program. We just beat Houston. I think they were number 3 in the country at home. And there's a lot of energy. I end up getting courted. To say approached would be understating it. I got courted by, when you say power, right? 2 Power 5 teams. I'm not going to say who they are. 2 Power 5 teams to go be their head coach. But I had just started. We were just getting started. A lot of the team was returning. I had the very best administrator, the guy that hired me. And I was so excited about the job that I had. So I didn't leave. I stayed. Now, shortly thereafter, the rest of that history. Within a 10-month span, I went from being courted by a Power 5 team to being fired. So for knowing a lot to knowing nothing, like how'd that happen in less than 1 year? So I attempted to stay. I loved my job. Still do. In fact, to talk about it is hurtful. That's how much pain, it was just a lot of love and energy and joy in that job. I loved it. There's been times of great success at Notre Dame. And then I get an opportunity to become a head coach at a job that I was so incredibly excited about. The year before, we were the number one team in the country, going to play for the national championship with the number one defense. And I'm being courted by an out West Power 5 team. Strongly. Hard press. But there was no way I was not going to stay with Manti and the rest of that Notre Dame defense and go coach in the national championship game, which they asked me to. I wasn't going to be able to take that job and coach in the national championship game. And that was not going to happen. I was not leaving those men, and I was not leaving that post. And I was definitely excited to compete in the national championship game. So that was a circumstance where I stayed and nobody knew. A couple of circumstances where I've stayed and nobody's known, and a couple circumstances where I've left, both by my choice and of no regard on the other end. I took two coordinator jobs recently that I had intended to stay forever. I'm serious, intended to stay forever. Bought a forever kind of home, registered all my vehicles, children moved there and planned to start their lives there, from changing high schools to changing universities, and they both dissolved. I worked as hard as I possibly could. One was almost outside my control. The issues were from, icon to administration. And I got caught up in that, with the rest of the full staff. And the other one was preventable. So there's the moves. I agree with you, but I'm not sure which one I can look back on and say that I could have or would have done differently.
So
I would say this.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Dave.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, Dave, I would just say that over the last 40 years of being on a football team, and this year's been incredibly hard not being on one, I've had a lot of wins, but I've also taken a few L's, but they've all been positive. In fact, some of the L's have been more positive for me, growth and learning and an opportunity to drill down and be better. And I've taken the time to the work. If you're willing to do that work and see that silver lining in that gray cloud, it's sure there. So I can't look back on any one of those moves and say that they haven't been positive for me, even the bad ones.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's what I was going to say when
question.
I almost cut you off there. Is you're still in coach world, a very young guy. So I mean that you got a coaching job super early. Clearly, you want to still be in the business. So it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to see a guy like you not being on the sidelines soon, right? I mean, from everything.
I love what I do. I feel better about it than I ever have. I'm going to be better than I ever have been. I've had a chance to drill down tactically on the system that we've created, and look at every alignment, every element, every eye progression piece, when to pressure, when not to pressure, when to drop eight, when not to drop eight, everything in between. Personnel,
always pressure. There.
People,
always pressure. Never rush three. Never ends well.
Yeah, I know a lot of people think the same way.
Well,
but I have so much energy for this, I appreciate all the youthful conversation. My back doesn't feel like that as I approach 50. But no, I'm better than I've ever been. I'm more excited than I've ever been. this adversity has only proved to me how much I love football.
I love it. You're good. We need to get you back on a sideline because it's very clear that you love football. I wanted to quickly go back. 2015, you talk about how a couple Power 5 schools maybe were courting you. For the record, you're not going to say who it was, but I do think you would have done great at Rutgers. Wink, wink, I know. I'm looking. He's not making a move. I think I got one of them. But either way, can we go back to 2015, that summer? We're gamblers. There's always the feeling that like we're about to be on a hot streak. In 2015, you said we're going to win every game.
Is 49% a hot streak? Is that where you're at right now?
Yeah. No, it's bad. It's bad. But I'm getting hot. I'm a November to remember. But you said we're going to win every game. We're going to win every game. We're going to play as one of the 4 teams in the playoffs and win a national championship. You said that in the summer of 2015. You then started 2-0 at UConn that season. Was there a part of you that was like, I think I'm doing this? I think we're gonna win every game?
Yeah. I mean, what else would you think? You get some of these questions and how am I going to answer them? I know the team is watching, or
right.
You're standing in front of the defensive unit, and the defensive unit might be 100, right? In the country against the rush or in total defense or in scoring defense. When you stand in front of them, you're going to say, and you believe it, we're going to build the best defense in the country, or we're going to be the best team in the country. And you know what? At the end of the day, you could say what you want about Connecticut or any of these other teams. You look at Coastal Carolina, Cincinnati showed up to our place at the beginning in 14 with more. They traveled. They had more scholarship players on their sideline than we had at home on our sideline. That was the state of the two programs, and they smoked us. And then shortly thereafter, we beat them. And then they go into this downward spiral. Now they're one, and nobody's talking. Now they're one of the best teams in the country. They're number 4. In 2009, when I was there with Coach Kelly, we were number 4. They didn't have a playoff, but we finished as 4, and unfortunately drew an angry Florida in the Sugar Bowl without Coach Kelly. That was an interesting game. But why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
I love it. Yeah.
If you're a competitor, if you're a competitor and that's what you do, like, and you decide you're going to start playing the game, why would you think you're going to be the best? I mean, look what you guys created. I mean, look what Dave created in a space that when he entered looked like, it was David Goliath or, Cincinnati at the beginning against Virginia Tech in the Orange Bowl or whatever it looked like, right? I mean, insurmountable odds. And now you got the one of the biggest, media broadcasts in the world. So,
dream big.
Absolutely. I'm a competitor and I believe that we were going to become great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything, you're compassionate. And the thing I took out of that too was loyal. Like, you're eccentric. There's a lot of qualities about you. Having played for Hayden Fry, what was the biggest lesson you learned from him or his biggest impact on your coaching career? Because it does sound like you liked him, obviously, a lot.
Coach Fry, whether he did or he didn't, truly, I believed that he loved me like a son. And everything about him and every bone about him. I didn't think for a second he would compromise me and my development for anything, any selfish piece in his own agenda. He held his coaches accountable and he forced them to be great for us. And I mean, he would meet not my brother, my father. He knew their names. He'd meet my uncle one time and 3 years later see him again and say, hey, Steve. I mean, the guy was unbelievable. So that kind of attention to the players and love was one of just the biggest impacts on me as a player. And it furthered my love and it cemented that I knew that I wanted to spend the rest of my life serving this game.
That's beautiful.
Well, Bob, we took up a bunch of your time. We appreciate you coming on. This is
we have to ask about. Do you have JFK's fettuccine Alfredo recipe? Do you have that?
Oh yeah,
in the notes too?
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no doubt. So,
I just had to get that one out there.
Yeah, and it's so funny. Don't steal my idea, but I have an idea for content for you guys.
Okay.
I plan on coaching, and I have a name for the show too: Pigskin and Pancetta.
Ooh,
Pigskin
I love
and Pancetta. So you teach football to people that are not necessarily football fans, but they're going to be with football fans. So men and women that are going to spend the weekend inundated with football, both college football and NFL football, but they really don't know what they're.
This is the
they
perfect
really don't
weekend
know
for
what
that.
they're looking at.
Right.
Yeah,
They
Thanksgiving.
really don't
weekend.
know what they're looking at. So the show is a football 101 session, a basic football knowledge, formations, structures, why, what the positions mean, what the names mean, what they're going to hear, what they're going to see. Basic football 101 while we're cooking, eating, hanging, drinking, having a great time. And one of the recipes will definitely be the fettuccine Alfredo from JFK.
Love it.
So there's a few secrets. One is you got to cook the pasta in chicken broth.
Ooh.
It's an interesting piece. It's not just boiled salted water. It's got to be chicken broth. And then the Alfredo is built with the pasta rather than in a separate pot. But otherwise, it's a fairly traditional recipe.
I love.
I'd like to make it for you guys.
Yeah,
We'll have to.
Absolutely.
We'll
You are welcome anytime you're in New York to come through the office.
We'd love to have you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys having me on. And listen, to everybody, and you guys in particular, blessed and happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you,
We gotta
Coach.
hopefully see you back on the sideline.
Yes,
next year.
absolutely. We're big
Absolutely.
Bob Diaco
I'm
fans.
excited. I'm excited to do that.
All right.
Take care, Bob.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, guys.